until a couple of minutes in. So, all right, ready? Let's go.
Let's do it.
Welcome, everyone. As you're joining, please feel free to introduce yourself in chat and let us know what you're most excited about in the debate tomorrow night.
And we'll let folks roll in here just for a minute, um, and get started then. So just let us know who you are, where you're from. Super excited about this conversation. Super excited about the debate tomorrow night. Hey, Carolyn. Hey, Peggy. Rose. Abby. All our friends. Hey, Carla. Mary, Jennifer. We got the crew from everywhere. We got Idaho. We got Washington, Pennsylvania, Oregon.
Hello, fellow Red Stater.
Look at all you guys. Louisiana. Hey, Jane. New Hampshire.
Alabama.
We are coming in from all corners of the U.S. All right. Well, we're 3 minutes in. I'm going to go ahead and get started and let folks roll in. Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining. If this is your first time on one of our democracy briefings, they happen on Mondays. Some Mondays at this time, 1 o'clock Pacific, 4 o'clock Eastern. DemCast, we are a 501c4 nonprofit organization dedicated to defeating right-wing narratives in digital spaces and promoting a pro-democracy agenda. We do that by recruiting and deploying all of you to spread helpful pro-democracy messaging across all social media platforms. We're really excited about this conversation today with Brian and Megan from Oath, and I think we'll just actually go ahead and get started, just to make sure we're using our time wisely here. So, I'm really excited to have Brian, Derek, and Megan Leone. Leone from Oath. As you guys know, if you tuned in a couple weeks ago to our democracy briefing, it was a post-convention briefing, and Jamie and I recounted our fun adventures in Chicago, and one of my favorite things that happened when I was there was running into Brian on a yacht. It's not what it sounds like. We had to go to pick up our credentials, but Brian and I sat and started talking, and I didn't know about Oath, and he didn't know about DemCast, and we were like, once we were done talking, we were like, wow, we really need to connect and start a partnership. So I'm really excited to have you guys here. And Brian, maybe you can just kick us off and let everybody know who you are and how Oath came to be, and sort of the an overview of the organization and mission and all that.
Definitely. The yacht was not as cool as it sounds. That's like such a cool way to meet someone. But yeah, Nick, was so glad to meet you at the convention. And thank you for having us. My name is Brian Derrick. My background is in campaign finance. I've been fundraising for candidates and causes that I believe in my whole life. And I was formerly a finance director on a congressional race back in the 2020 cycle. And I got together with my co-founder, her name's Taylor, my best friend of 14 years, who comes from Accenture and McKinsey. And we were super frustrated by the number of texts and emails that we were receiving from candidates that we had not heard of, asking for donations. And at the same time, felt like we wanted to do more and really weren't sure where we could make a real impact. I had spent many hours in campaign finance reports and knew how much money was going to really long shot US Senate races, hundreds of millions of dollars, while a lot of down ballot candidates were starved for resources and attention, couldn't break through such a noisy and expensive media environment. And so Taylor and I got together and started coming up with solutions. We formulated what would eventually become Oath. We launched it in June of 2022, built it ourselves with popsicle sticks and glue, essentially. But it was just this platform where you could come on and select what you were interested in: reproductive rights, focusing on democracy, gun safety, LGBT equality, and it would surface which races were most critical to advancing that specific goal, where your dollars could make a meaningful difference. And so it was looking past the Amy McGraths and Jamie Harrisons of the world that take up a lot of oxygen, and to the races that maybe you haven't heard of the candidate, but winning that one seat could be the game changer for millions of people when it comes to something like basic abortion access. Um, the site took off right away. We had more than 10,000 people give over $2 million in a couple of months without us advertising it in any way. And that really convinced us that there was a need, that people wanted something like this. And I should also mention, when we launched it, we made this commitment to ensure that we wouldn't be driving more spam into people's inboxes. And so when you donate on the platform, you are able to give without sharing your contact information with the campaigns. And so you don't end up on all these lists and resell lists. And so we have grown a lot since 2022. We brought on Megan and a bunch of other people. We now have 7 full-time working on Oath, and our job is just to help grassroots donors give as strategically as possible. We don't endorse candidates. We evaluate elections all over the country. So we analyze thousands of races, from president down to local school board races. We give each one an impact score, which is just a very simple indicator, 0 to 10, that tells you, is my $10, $100, $1,000 donation likely to really make a difference in this race, with a 10 being sort of as impactful as it possibly can be. And then we organize all of these races into the issues and states that we know donors are looking for. That maybe you live in Pennsylvania or you're from Pennsylvania, you want to have an impact there. We want to show you the most critical races to donate to there. If you want to focus on a specific issue, we want to connect you with the races that are going to need your support on that. And so we've been growing all year long. Last week was our first week where we directed over $1 million in a week to down ballot races. And again, this is like a totally grassroots effort. And our goal is simply to get more money to the places that it's going to make the most difference. This year is obviously been very tumultuous and wild. We are on a roller coaster of an election cycle. But the momentum shift that's happened in the last 2 months has made it more clear than ever that the top of the ticket is fully funded. That while we want to do everything we can to support Vice President Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, that additional donations are not going to be the thing that decides that race. And absolutely, donations and fundraising will be the thing that prevents other Democrats from winning at other critical levels of the ballot. And so I think that we just want to take the opportunity today to kind of talk about what some of those races are, some of the places around the country where you can have the most possible impact right now by donating, by sharing information about the race with your network on social media, like you all do, like you're pros at. And where driving just a little bit of extra support could be the difference between winning and losing. Um, like I said, we analyze races at all levels of the ballot, and it's shocking to see how quickly you can make just a huge impact on these down ballot races. Oath really didn't exist like a couple years ago. Um, and we already, Oath donors as a community, already make up the majority of donors in the most competitive state legislative races in about half of the top 50 state ledge races across the country. So we really are driving very meaningful impact where collective action is our best friend, and pooling together a bunch of people giving $10 can move the needle.
So Brian,
Yeah.
really quick. So you're skimming like 40% off the top, right?
Great question. And I should have mentioned it and I didn't. Oath doesn't take any cut of the donations through the platform. I always want to emphasize that. So no, we're not taking any cut. The way that Oath is funded is a long-term vision. And it's just voluntary tips. So if you've donated on ActBlue, you know that they ask for tips on that platform. We have the same GoFundMe version of that. Where it's a totally voluntary tip when you give, but we don't take any percent of the donations.
Let me just say, like, and this is why now everybody watching can understand why I was so excited when I met Brian, because we are all so annoyed by the texts and the texts and the texts asking for more money. And I got a text from my dad like a number of weeks ago, like before the convention, asking me like, what am I supposed, where help, like where is this, who actually needs money, like, because everybody says they need money. The people running against like Marjorie Taylor Greene say that they
Right.
desperately need money, right? But we're not going to flip that seat, like,
Totally.
but so much gets flushed down the toilet. And I'm sorry, like every candidate has the right to run their race and try and win their race. Like I don't want to take that away from them, but it's just there's so much noise, and like what you guys do is just so helpful. So I really hope everybody goes and checks out the Oath site as we proceed here.
Yeah, and that's what we're here for. We're not telling you who you should or shouldn't donate to. We're just trying to add transparency to the system because right now there is zero transparency. Candidates have all this information about how much money they have, how much their opponent has, how likely they are to win, and they're buying all your data to text you and email you. But it's really hard for donors. And so we just want to be a helpful tool, a free, accessible tool for donors to add some transparency.
So cool. Um, and and these ratings that you give the candidates, it's just on the site when you go and visit the Oath site. You can see those ratings, and what information do you use? Like, what's your algorithm to help understand, to help sort of create those ratings?
Yeah, and I can do a bit of a test drive if you want,
That'd be great.
Nick.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah. So I'll pull up my screen and show it. But first, I'll just answer the question about the algorithm really quick. Most of our team, Megan's here with me, our community manager, who helps this incredible community grow and make sure that we're getting donors what they're looking for. Um, Most of our team are engineers and data analysts, and we pull in data from every source under the sun. So everything like Cook and Sabato and 538 and those types of things, every Secretary of State website, all of the campaign financial information that gets filed on how much these campaigns are raising. And then we also purchase data from firms like Catalyst to supplement that so we have a 360-degree view of these races and can make the best recommendations possible. And with that, I'll go ahead and share my screen so we can go for a little test drive. Can you just confirm you can see that, the homepage? Okay, great.
got it.
So if you go to it's oath.vote, there's no .com, it's just oath.vote, and that will take you here. And the goal here is to make it as easy as possible. So right off the bat, we have a couple of key issues that people might be looking for. If you want to defeat Trump, you want to protect democracy, flip the U.S. House. If I select flip the House, for example, it will take me to our donation page where I can select which exact races I want to support. Maybe you have a particular preference there. And over here, you can see the impact score. So this is that 0 to 10 rating. You can even drill down on the race a little bit more. I can see that Kristen McDonald-Rivet is in a toss-up race, and she's trying to hold that seat for Democrats. So tells me a little bit more, and then I can click very easily. And then if you already have your information saved, which I do, it will just like automatically take you here to complete your donation pretty quickly, and it will split a donation between all of those races automatically. All the donations on Oath go directly to the candidates. We are not a PAC, and we don't take the funds. You're giving directly to the campaigns. So here, this is if you go to the search candidates button up here, you can literally type in any candidate's name, or you can select one of the many issues that we have here. If I want to click on Protect Democracy, then I can see here a list of critical Supreme Court and state ledge races happening all over the country. So it's pretty straightforward, pretty simple. I also wanted to show our state focused page because I saw in the chat we have people from all over the country, and maybe you want to focus a little closer to home. This page on the site will allow you to focus on an individual state, and we have specific goals here based on what the current funding gap is for down ballot races in that state. You'll see they're not huge sums. We update these at least once a month. And it's based on how their opponents are doing and how the candidate fundraising is going. And so you can select these individual states if you want to focus on one of those. And
that's going to be a handful of candidates in those states that the money's going to, not like
that's
the
exactly
state
right.
party or something.
Yeah, right. So when I click on Arizona, it brings me to this page, and again, you can sort of see the top rated races in that state, and these change in real time. So when we get new information about how well a candidate's doing, how much their fundraising is, if Republicans place a big ad buy against Democratic candidates, we can update these scores immediately to make sure that money's flowing where it needs to go.
And I also see on there that there's a voter registration and GOTV link. So it's not just that there's a ballot measure there. So it's not just candidates, right?
Exactly. Yeah, we specialize in candidates because I think that that's where people have the biggest. It's like it's just a big black box. It's really hard to figure out if I should give to Karen Gresham or Christine Marsh or somebody else. But we also do have organizations on the platform as well. Yeah, we sort of everything under the sun you can sort of imagine, and you can find most of that here on our search page. I'll stop and see if there were any additional questions I missed.
Jamie, is there anything in the Q&A?
Yeah, there's a question of, can you clarify what the score on the right means?
Yeah, the impact score is basically just a signal to you as to how impactful your dollars will be in that race relative to another race. And so there are 3 core metrics that's based on. We can go really deep into the weeds on this, but at the highest level, it's competitiveness. How close is this race expected to be? The stakes, would winning this seat flip an entire chamber or make a trifecta for Democrats, break a trifecta for Republicans? That has to do with governing power. And then the third component is financial need. And so we're looking at how much money that candidate already has, how much their opponent has, how much outside spending is in the race, to really get a sense of how much more money they need in order to run the strongest campaign possible.
And there's a question that just came in from Yvonne. If a user unchecks a candidate, does the donation go to all the remaining candidates?
That's exactly
how
right.
that works. Okay.
Yeah, so it will only go to whichever candidates are selected on the page. So you can just do one candidate. We typically default to around six, based on what the median, I think the median donations on the platform is around $50. And so like you're giving maybe around $10 per candidate, which feels good to people. But you can always change that and just give to one or more.
And are you focusing on all states or just the swing states?
Oh, we are in all states. There should be races active in, I think, all 50 states. There are some states with like with far fewer elections than others based on how the legislature works and how terms are scheduled. But you'll find races in Utah, you'll find races in Florida, you'll find races in blue states as well in California and New York. It's not just the six or seven states that everyone seems to be focused on, but it's the whole country, and the goal is for you to be able to target what you're looking to accomplish near or far.
Great. Can you compare what this is from Alan? Can you compare what a donor gets from Oath versus donations to, say, the States Project or Run for Something?
Yeah, both great organizations that we partner with. The States Project, if you go to their Give Smart program to give to candidates through the States Project, it will bring you back to Oath. They use Oath to do their donation processing for candidates. Um, and so, yeah, the difference is basically whether or not you want an intermediary. Giving to the PAC, it's called the PAC for America's Future, which is run by the States Project, or to Run for Something's PAC, means that you're giving the money for them to divvy up as they see fit. With Oath, you're giving directly to the campaigns. And so one of the cool things about Oath is that after the election, we do an individualized impact report where we report back to every donor. Here's who you supported this cycle. Here's who won. Here's who lost, how close the races were, and how your dollars helped. And so we think that that candidate to donor connection is a powerful thing that like you can directly choose the individuals that you're looking to support instead of giving to a PAC that then goes on to have sort of like this mass aggregated effect. So yeah, that's sort of the key difference, but both great organizations who we partner with on with regularity.
Yeah, without putting too fine a point on it, the corollary is less to an organization like Run for Something and more to Act Blue, right?
Right. Yeah,
Right.
exactly. We
You
are a
you,
tech
you guys are
platform.
effectively an alternative to Act Blue that doesn't peel a percentage off the top and sell your information to a bunch of people.
That's exactly right. Yeah, and and we have found that being a tech platform that can scale in the way that we now have like 1,000 plus candidates that are being evaluated by Oath, allows us to ensure that every donor is able to find their match for the candidate they're looking for, the issue that they are looking for. And so that enables us to sort of do both and address donors' issues. Like we do not work with the campaigns. I should clarify that as well. We're not selling to campaigns. Campaigns do not pay us any money. Our boss is you. Our boss is the donors who use Oath. That is what we are focused on, is building tools, tech, and insight for donors to make giving as easy and effective as possible.
An
Uh,
interesting question about any thought about rating organizations as to their effectiveness.
Yeah, there are a few entities out there that do that specifically. I would point to Mind the Gap, if you've ever heard of them, or Movement Voter Project is very focused on 501(c)(3)s, C4s. Um, and so we do make recommendations about organizations in partnership with those organizations, but we're trying to not be redundant and sort of reinvent the wheel where it doesn't need to be. So I think you'll see more organizations featured on Oath in 2025 and beyond, but we really wanted to start in the candidate space. Particularly right now, between now and election day, I will tell you that you should be cognizant of the type of organization that you're funding, because some organizations will have a hard time turning dollars into votes in this amount of time, because organizations work very differently than campaigns, and campaigns are built to deploy money very fast. They're like startups, and they burn money. They burn through money very quickly, and they hire people very quickly. And so it's just a different sort of strategy. And if I were, for me, I am, so I don't have to say if, I am only giving money personally between now and election day to candidates. After election day, I will pivot back and be doing a lot more infrastructure building, and investing in the organizations that we need to make our ecosystem work, and voter registration and all of these things. But now to election day, the most effective dollars are through campaigns.
Excellent. So
And
cool.
then we do have a question on Colin Allred's race, that they're not seeing that. I know it's a long
Allred?
shot, but the polls are surprisingly closing in both Florida and Texas. They're both Debbie and Colin are now within the margin of errors in the polls. So
Yes, Allred is on oath. Make sure you have two L's if you're searching his name.
okay.
But yes, Colin Allred is on oath, currently has a 5.0 out of 10. And the reason for that is not because we are saying he's going to lose, but because it's about whether additional dollars are going to help him win. And we think that your dollars are more impactful in other races right now who have less money, because he has raised quite a bit of money and is going to he's going to have no problem raising a lot more, because the infrastructure he's built, the data that he's purchased, the team that he has, consultants, etc.
Because he's running against Ted Cruz.
And because he's running
Which
against
also helps.
Ted Cruz.
No, I mean,
Absolutely.
it's a really important point, that just because like that rating score is based on a variety of factors. It's not a judgment about the candidates or
Right.
about the importance of the race or anything like that. It's yeah, the importance of the race is one piece of it, but it's also like, how much money have they raised? How much money can they raise? How much money have their opponents raised? There's like all these factors that go into those scores. So like, don't read those scores as like, oh, Oath doesn't think Colin can win. So
Right.
if you think Colin can win, then and you want to support his campaign, there's a way for you to donate through us.
Exactly.
Yeah. I
I have to
think
say, I went in and looked at Utah and saw some very dear friends on there. So that was exciting. So go, Janetta.
That's awesome. I'm glad to hear
that's
that.
that's fantastic. Um, so from the DemCast perspective, what we're going to do here with Oath, in our new sort of organizational partnership, is, in addition to just helping our DemCast community know that Oath is there as a tool for their general giving, we also want to join in partnership to help really spread word on social media about certain races that are rated highly, as highly important, by the Oath team, and spread those donation links online. So Jamie's been dropping a social media toolkit in the chat, which we will continue to sort of push out through really through the remainder of the election. And we're, in addition to the states page that Brian shared, and some of the sort of like defeat MAGA lists that they have, we're really, because of who you guys are, and you're very savvy and you understand the importance of state Supreme Court races, as we saw with how amazingly you got behind the Wisconsin Supreme Court race as a community in last year, that helped flip the state Supreme Court. We are going to be pushing the state Supreme Court oath page pretty aggressively as a community, and so we'll continue to talk about that. I'll be putting up a Substack post about it on the Digital Drumbeat. and we'll be spreading this toolkit. And we just ask that, in addition to hopefully giving to these candidates as a community, also encouraging those in our networks to do so as well, because people are thirsty for this information, as you can see from all the comments in the chat. Everybody's like, "Where do I give? Where do I give?" Like, I don't have that much more to give this cycle, so I want to do it in a smart way, and so we can help facilitate that for folks, which is really exciting. And I'm just super glad that as organizations we've found each other, and I look forward to sort of doing some good trouble here on the fundraising side down the stretch.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm so thrilled as well, and we're so grateful to have this incredible network. Excited about Supreme Court races and the work that Oath is doing. The comments have been amazing, so thank you all so much for the support. It really does mean a lot. It's why we built this. I would just add one note on the Supreme Court races, and we can go deeper if
Yeah,
you want
please.
to. I know we have limited time. Um, but regardless of what issue is like sort of motivating you and lighting a fire for you this cycle, Supreme Courts will have an impact on that issue. We all know that the US Supreme Court has been a wrecking ball lately in US politics, but it goes under the radar that state Supreme Courts are making decisions on the same thing. So if you're fired up about democracy, these state Supreme Courts are very, very easily could play a role in this 2024 election certification process. That's where Donald Trump's lawsuits could end up. They play a role on voting rights and making really important decisions about that. They've been a game changer on reproductive rights and whether or not basic abortion access is going to be protected in especially red states. On gun safety, on LGBT equality and inclusion, on public education. Like the state Supreme Court is a focal point of the conservatives' push to roll back our rights. And we have to be invested in these races if we want to push forward. So you can frame the work of a state Supreme Court in already the language that you're using to talk about the presidential. If you're talking about the need to elect Vice President Harris in order to save the climate, you can talk about that with Supreme Courts as well as they make critical decisions over fossil fuel infrastructure and who to hold accountable for the climate crisis. You can talk about the economy in terms of state Supreme Courts. You can talk about reproductive rights, as I said. So, yeah, very excited that this is resonating with this community, and we are here to support in every possible way that we can.
Awesome. And so, in addition to those donate links in our toolkit for the state Supreme Court, we will over time add some other sort of campaign related stuff about these races, just as more like sort of hyping up the races, helping to inform the public about the importance of these races, from campaign videos to graphics and memes and stuff. So we'll add some of that stuff in there too. But the sort of the first hit here is let's drive some donations and help everybody's dollars make an impact.
Love it.
So cool. Jamie, any final thoughts, parting thoughts for the Oath team?
Now, we did have one final question, which is Dan Osborne in Nebraska. However, he's an independent, so I don't know if you would even fall on something like this.
Yeah, we have Democrats, independents, and nonpartisan races. Lots of the local races that we have, county positions, mayoral, city council, are oftentimes nonpartisan, school boards. And so you'll find candidates that are non-Democrats on Oath as well. You will not find registered Republicans.
Excellent. Again, thank you guys for doing what you do. It's really important work. I know grassroots donors across the country are appreciative and will be even more appreciative as more people start using the platform. So thanks so much.
This is literally one of the questions we get asked the most.
all the time.
I will get text messages, DM messages going, who should I donate to?
Yep.
Send them to Oath, and we're happy to help.
Yeah.
Now we don't have to figure it out for them. We can just send them over to you guys.
And you
Super
would add-
helpful.
I think there was a question in the chat that we didn't
Yeah.
address, which was that we operate solely on tips. So we
Oh,
don't
yeah.
take any cut of any donation. Like all of our salaries and like any operations are covered with the generosity of our donors. And then also feel free to use the search function on Oath. You can search any candidate. I would go by their last name because sometimes if their legal name is like their nickname or their full name and you're typing in one or the other, you can kind of miss them. But I just wanted to flag those for the folks that had the questions because I think that that will help answer them.
Thank you, Megan.
Thank you.
Thanks, Nick.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for joining us on the call. And this won't be the last time, I'm sure.
Yeah, we're here to help. So
Yeah.
thank you all. Thanks, Jamie.
Thank you all.
We'll see you guys soon.
Bye. All right. I'm really glad that I met Brian in Chicago because it's just so cool that they did. I mean, just like a month ago, we put out an Act Blue page with like house races that were super important, but like, you know, Jamie and I had to go in and figure out all that info ourselves. Like, what's the cash on hand for the Republican, for the Democrat, for the, you know, what's the polling like, and try and like do that all ourselves, and it takes a while. And so like the fact that they have the infrastructure and the team that does that research and pulls it in and makes it so simple for people, and then they don't peel any off the top by default. Like that's just so cool. So when you are donating through Oath, like you know, feel free to press that tip button. That's how they maintain themselves as an organization. Obviously, if you don't have the resources, you don't have to, and that's the beauty of the platform. But anyway, super excited to have had them on. Now, is there anything going on this week?
Oh, I don't know. It seems like there might be a couple of things. There might be a debate, might be government shutdown looming. Just, you know.
Right. Yeah, the debate. When is that again? Is that tomorrow?
I think that's tomorrow. Tomorrow at 9 Eastern.
So we are going to, Jamie and I are both going to be on some calls later this afternoon with the party and the campaign to get some information about messaging guidance for the debate tomorrow night. So
we've got some.
We've got some, so we'll share what we've got now. But we'll also follow up with everybody. I'll do a Substack post in the morning probably, and we can drop some stuff in Reach as well. But Jamie, you want to share what we know?
Really, the big focus are two big things. One is that this is going to be a showcase between two very different visions. And that Vice President Harris and Governor Walz are fighting for a new way forward. You know, I know the expectations are really high. We have to remember two things, though. This is Trump's 7th presidential debate. No one has ever done 7 presidential debates before. This is her first. And so the expectations are really high. But we know that during the debate, Trump is going to lie the entire time. No one will fact check him. Kamala might try, but does she really want to spend all of her time fact checking instead of getting her message across to the American people? And so we will, of course, be doing a toolkit in real time, like we always do. But we really want to focus that this is between two very different visions, and who do we want to be as a country? And so tomorrow morning, we will probably be putting out some pre-debate messaging just to kind of ramp everybody up. So be on the lookout for that. And then in Reach, we will have kind of our war room in the digital rapid response team. So if you're not in Reach, please join and get into that digital rapid response team, because that is where the rapid responses are going to be. And through the night, we will be getting communications from both the DNC and the campaign in real time that I will be able to drop all of that messaging guidance in Reach, as well as we'll be putting the videos on social.
Yeah, and also just be prepared for a social push in the morning. We kind of want to own the narrative for the entire day online. And so we're looking at doing like a positive uh, message about Kamala that can sort of take over the pre-debate social media space. And then, like Jamie said, once the debate starts, it's going to be rapid response. At that point, we'll want to hop on whatever trends are already out there and just get the clips and content that provide the best light on Kamala's debate performance, but push that out under sort of what trends are already happening. And then there will probably be another push after the debate is right after the debate is over. We'll probably try and do a hashtag push along the lines of Kamala won, just like a victory message that where we continue to share those clips. So just FYI, tomorrow's going to be a busy day all day long, and we'll keep everybody apprised in all the places where we apprise you of the things that the messages that we're trying to push. And Jamie, it looks like there are some questions about Reach. Should we do a screen share and just show people how to join the digital rapid response group?
Yeah, and then one more thing is that the House is coming back into session this week. They have been out for like 5 weeks. We have a government shutdown looming. Republicans are pushing the voter suppression bill as part of the package. We know that's dead on arrival in the Senate. But of course, they want the voter suppression bill. But there is 3 keywords to use this week. Extreme MAGA Republicans. So whenever you're talking about Republicans, extreme MAGA Republicans, and the Oversight Committee is now launching probes into Harrison Walls. So get ready for that. And they are probably going to be doing an impeachment vote for Joe Biden in the coming week, which their vulnerable members are very excited about. So just be prepared for all of that. So extreme MAGA Republicans.
This party is such a joke.
Yeah.
They're just such a joke. Not very funny joke, but a joke. So extreme MAGA Republicans, that comes directly from future speaker Jeffrey's messaging guidance. So let's make sure that we're using that. Okay, so I'm do you want me to do a screen share?
Yeah.
Okay. Will it let me? Yes. Sorry, hang on. I'm gonna so somebody asked in chat if Reach costs any money. Reach does not cost money. It is a free app to download. You do have to give them your cell phone number when you log in. That's because the app was originally created as a peer-to-peer digital organizing tool that was meant to sort of leverage cell phone access to people's contacts lists. But to join our campaign in Reach, we don't use we're all about social media messaging, so we don't use that functionality of Reach. But when you sign up to download the app of Reach and create your Reach account, you do have to give them your cell phone number.
And they do not sell your cell phone number, and we do not share or sell your cell phone number. So I just want to reassure that we don't, we will never ever sell any information we get.
We don't do that. And we become really good buddies with the folks over at Reach. It's a really good team. They're extremely mission driven and well intentioned. So if that helps, they're good movement people. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. Okay, is that showing up?
Yep.
Okay, so if you want to join, so we're talking about joining the Digital Rapid Response Group. You see the three icons that are down at the bottom: home, rankings, and chat. You go over to the chat icon. And then if you want to join actually, you don't even have to go there first, but you click on your profile icon up in the upper right-hand corner, and it's the same if you're on your cell phone because there's an app version. But you click on your profile picture up in the upper right-hand corner, and then you click join or leave user groups. And then you just look for the user group that you want to join or leave. And there's Digital Rapid Response, currently has 296 members. As Jamie said, that's going to be where we're sort of really conversing the most about the debate tomorrow night. So if you want to join that conversation, you can click join. All right, I clicked leave, so I can click join for you. So now I'm back. The other thing that I'll just say really quick, if you don't want to be bombarded you want to be in the group, but you don't want to be bombarded by a bunch of notifications, you can go to the group that you're, where you want to manage notifications, go to the group, go to the little I right here up in the upper right-hand corner, click that. Oh, right. I'm on my desktop. Follow that same process when you're on your cell phone, and there will be a little toggle like right here about turning off notifications for this specific user group. So you can manage down to the user group level. You can manage whether or not you're getting notifications every time somebody leaves a message in the group. So definitely take advantage of that. There's as long as you don't mind, if you want to be in groups, but your only hesitation is you don't want all the notifications, that's something that you can manage on the Reach app. So,
yeah, because if you turn off all notifications, we have an announcements channel that nobody else is allowed to post in, that will do campaign-wide announcements if we have something important going on, or we'll do an action card, which will ping your phone. So if you turn off all notifications, you miss those two important notifications that you can get.
Right. I think that was it for our program, unless there are questions that we want to get to.
We have a question. Do you recommend doing this on the computer or your phone? Honestly, they're both super easy to do. The interface is so similar on your phone and the computer. I think the only thing that's easier on your phone is the labels, because you can just use your finger and swipe. So
yeah, the sharing functionality is a little bit easier on your phone, because on your desktop computer, you actually have to download the content onto your hard drive and then share it. Whereas on your phone, you can download it into your phone's library, photo library, but you don't have to. You can literally just share to like Twitter or Facebook or something like that without.
If you're on iPhone.
If you're on an iPhone, sorry, I always forget that.
Twitter no longer allows that on Android.
Right.
So
Twitter specifically, right?
Yes, Twitter specifically.
Okay, but you can share to Facebook without downloading on an Android.
Yes, yeah. You can do Facebook threads. And if you guys are on TikTok, one thing we have heard is that using that functionality without downloading on TikTok will get you pinged for unoriginal content. And so if you are sharing on TikTok, you actually do want to physically download it so that you don't get that ping.
Good advice. Fennell's asking in the chat if people are interested in getting training on Reach, if you have times that generally work better for you. Fennell is our volunteer manager, and so let us know either here in chat or in within the Reach app somewhere, or any of the other. But you can email us at admin@demcastusa.com, however you want, and just let us know if you want training or you need training, and we'll help connect you with it. But also if you have suggestions for when is the best time of day and week for us to hold these trainings. And Fennell, do you want to, since you're on, do you want to drop the links to do we have any Reach trainings currently scheduled? Maybe we don't. If we do, could you drop them in chat? I should know this. But that's why we brought on Fennell, so I didn't have to worry about it anymore.
There is a question about the original content in threads. No, it's just a TikTok issue. So you can just do the share to any other platform that allows it. TikTok is the only one that seems to be flagging that.
Okay, well, we'll be sure to share out any scheduled Reach trainings in all the ways that we connect with you guys. And Lori, what is Reach? Guess we could have started back at the beginning. Sorry. Reach is an app that you can either download or sign up for online that enables ridiculously easy social sharing. And DemCast is on Reach, and we have a massive library of memes and graphics and videos that you can share to all social media platforms. So it's just a great resource for spreading digital messages. We also have a community on there where we can chat with each other and talk about different topics and races and that kind of stuff. So. Fennell's offering
I dropped the link in again.
Thanks,
and
Jamie.
then
Fennell's offering in the chat here to do a training tomorrow morning if folks want to be ready for the debate, which is awful nice of you, Fennell. And if we end up doing that, we'll make sure that we tell everybody.
And I dropped the document in there one more time, which has all the messaging guidance and all the links that we shared today. So it's a little bit easier to have it in one place. All right, and then stay tuned for the toolkit tomorrow. So
Yep. Be ready around 11 Eastern, 8 Pacific tomorrow morning for our initial early push for a pro Kamala hashtag and content. And then obviously the debate will be fun. We'll see y'all on the Reach app.
Well, the toolkit we share tomorrow morning was the one we'll be using all day, including for the debate. So it'll
be the same link. Yep.
Yeah. So just save that link, and then it will be updated throughout the day, especially once the debate starts.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Bye, guys.